first and hopefully not last booktube video. I am full of anxiety, caffeine, and depression, so we'll see how that works out. I wanted to start a booktube channel a while ago, during the COVID times. But basically what it boiled down to is that I was too chicken shit. But my living arrangements have changed. I feel a lot more comfortable in who I am. My love of reading has come back, and I would like to share all that. If anyone out there watches this, who knows? Could just be for posterity at this point. I'm looking down because I do have some notes written down, just so I don't forget any plot points or anything that I want to say. It's just, don't mind me, I'll get better, hopefully. So today's video is going to be my latest library haul. Since I am unemployed, I am using the library to the fullest capability that I can. It's right, I can walk to it, it's amazing. I love it so much, but I do miss going into a bookstore and just kind of perusing the shelves a little bit, but the library kind of hits the spot, you know what I mean? First book we have is Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes. I have read a few, their backlist titles. They're sci-fi horror, and I've absolutely enjoyed them. They're really good, they're creepy. They just have that vibe of like what's creeping around the corner, and I highly recommend them. They may not be like the best written things I've ever read in my life, but they're highly entertaining, especially if you like sci-fi and horror. The Traitor Baru Cormorant, by Seth Dickinson is a fantasy novel. So these people come over to Baru's homeland, and they start basically dismantling it. They are rewriting their history, they are making some of their rituals and their customs illegal. So that's never a good start to civilization. But she is very smart, and she's kind of playing the long game with them. This is the first in a series, so I'm hoping I really like this one because I like a lot of political intrigue and things of that nature. Baru is smart and is kind of playing the long game here, so in a final test that she needs to do to show her like camaraderie with the new government, she has to bring order to a rebel group. But joke's on them, she's really working on taking them down, so that should be interesting to read about. Blood over Brighthaven, and look at these edges. I think it has a map, and it has a map. Very exciting. Look, it doesn't take much, okay? This is by M.L. Wang. I have literally heard about this book so many times. Most booktube creators that I watch has read this and loved it. I haven't heard anything bad about it. I have read the summary a few times and kind of decided wasn't really for me, but I mean, I watch those channels for entertainment and to get some recommendations, so I figured I should give it a try. So Siona is Sayana? We'll go with that. Sayana wants to be the first woman admitted to the High Magistracy at the University of Magic and Industry. Say that 10 times fast. And she does get in, she does pass, but instead of being set up as a laboratory assistant or set up with the laboratory assistant, she's given a janitor. And she's like, what the fuck? So hello, misogyny. That's a shitty thing to do. But he's not really just any other janitor. He was a nomadic hunter, and on his way to the city, his family unfortunately died. Summary doesn't say how, but I'm sure we'll find out in the book. And clearly, Sayana and him end up working together. I just feel like that's a given. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler is a fantasy novel. It's about this woman who has been basically trying to kill the Dark Lord for hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of years, and every time she gets killed, she gets sent back, kind of like a video game. She spawns in the same spot every single time, and she's kind of really sick of it, so she decides, you can't beat him, join him. So she is gathering up her own army, her own horde, and she wants to become the next Dark Lord because she's really sick of all the dying, which, you know what, I kind of understand. This is the one I'm reading now. I think it's hilarious. It's got little footnotes in it that just crack me up. So I'm about halfway through, and I would recommend this book. If you like humor, fantasy, it's not a cozy fantasy, I would say, but it's a good one. And then we have You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Plago. So this has an anonymous author who hires an author named Mila Del Angel. I should probably butcher that, I'm really sorry. There was an accent on the E and I'm a heathen. And he wants her to conduct a writing retreat on his private island. And if that sounds familiar, that's because that's kind of what happened in Writer's Retreat by Julia Bartz, which was also a good book. On the island, Mila had planned on murdering someone. Obviously the synopsis doesn't say who, but it does let us know that someone ends up dead. However, the person who ends up dead is not her intended target. So that's a problem, shall we say. And, you know, then of course no one can get off the island because the storm has stranded them all. Womp womp. This chonker is Persepolis Rising by James S.A. Corey. It is number 7 in the Expanse series, and I'm not really going to get into it because there's so much that has happened before this book that I don't want to accidentally give anything away. I would recommend reading Leviathan Wakes. It's the first novel in the series, and also there is a TV series, I believe it's on Prime. I'm not sure if they're still making new episodes or not. I haven't watched it yet because I didn't want to be spoiled on any of the books. So far I believe there are 9 books in the series, and this is number 7, so I'm getting there. Can use this thing as like a weapon, I guess. Chlorine by Jade Song is a horror novel. The main character is a swimmer. Swimming is her whole life. Her only friends are her swimming friends. She looks up to her coach as like a life model. But back home, she was brought up on tales of sea creatures from the deep ocean, and creatures that would lure sailors to their deaths. Like, I think we all know that means sirens. Hope I'm not giving anything away on that one. I haven't read it yet, but I think I saw it on Books and Lala's YouTube, and then I think I saw it a couple other places, and finally it was at my library, and I just sort of picked it up and figured, it's not that big of a book, and I can probably get through it pretty fast. The main character in this one will do anything that she can to make a life for herself that involves what stories and folklore she has been told in her lifetime. Ask for Andrea by Noelle W. Ihil. So there, always beware of online dating, let's be real, especially if you're a woman. It'd be scary. So there's this man who plays the perfect gentleman, someone everybody wants to date. I dated a few. He murdered 3 of them. So that's not really a great batting average there. And the only people that can stop him are the 3 murder victims. So I'm really interested to see how they bring that about in this book, because I've never heard of that premise anywhere else before. I swear we're almost done with the pile, I promise. The River Has Roots by Amal El-Notar. He's one of the authors of This Is How You Lose the Time War, which also, I think I gave that one 5 stars. It was a very good book, really quick read, but it definitely worth it. So there's this town that lives on the edge of Ferry, and this family, the Hawthorne family, takes great pride in looking after the willow trees on the property. And especially the 3 daughters take the job very seriously. But the one wrinkle in it is that one of the daughters, Esther, it's said in the summary, Esther's daughters throws away a proposal or something to that effect of a local man there, I guess. But she does it because she is in love and her lover is from Ferry, which is probably not going to go very well. But I'm interested. Welcome to the Hyunam Dung Bookshop by Hyungbo Rheum. I think it's literary fiction. The female main character does all the quote-unquote right school, gets a good job, all of that. But eventually she doesn't want that life for herself anymore. So she ends up sort of throwing it all away, from what I understand of the synopsis, and opens this bookshop. And this bookshop becomes a place where all these people can learn to be themselves and to truly live as themselves. And I don't know if it's considered like a cozy read, but cozy adjacent maybe. Also read it. You Know What You Did by KT Nguyen is a thriller. So Annie, the main character, grew up poor, but now she basically has it all. Dream job, dream husband, she's got a daughter, she's got all the things going for her. But then her OCD starts coming back, and in a really disturbing way, where she is getting these visions and she's starting to think they're coming true, and it's a very off-putting and scary experience for her. Then an art patron dies, because why not? And unfortunately, Annie seems to be the central suspect, central person of interest, that kind of thing. Because she did wake up naked next to a dead body, so that'll kind of put a damper on any, like, oh, I'm innocent. But there are weirder things that have happened, and I believe this was on a criminal, not this book, obviously, but that storyline was on a Criminal Minds episode, and I shouldn't have laughed. I'm very sorry about that. All she wants to do is protect her daughter, so we'll see how that happens. Oh my god, we reached the last one. What shall we do? And it, of course, is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I am a huge Riley Sager fan. Some books hit more than others, like Lock Every Door was 5 stars. I think I gave The House Across the Lake 4 stars. He's just I find him to be a very good author. So, this one clearly is about vengeance. I wonder how we got that idea. So in 1942, 6 people killed Anna Matheson's family, and 12 years later she decides she wants to get revenge on them. So through coercion or tricks or things of that nature, she gets all 6 of them on a 13-hour train ride. Gets them on a 13-hour train ride, which just sounds like hell to me, but that's fine. And what she wants to do is she wants them to admit what they've done, and then she will take them to the police. She says I assume no plans of murdering them. I don't know, I didn't write the book. But what happens is someone on the train is killed, and that starts to put a damper on things, because the person who is now the murderer wants to make it so that no one is left alive on the train. So at first I was a little leery reading about a book that takes place in like 1942, 1950 something, but the premise is actually really good. I'm very much looking forward to it. And that is the last book. Please, if I had money and can go to the bookstore, the stack would be also that big. Things are watching, if you actually did, who knows. I will do my best to keep videos constant and be entertaining and all that jazz. So for now, that Rita girl is peacing out. Bye!